I never thought they had a chance to win the game last night. But if you want to attach culpability to Kobe for the loss last night, it comes with all of this stuff that transpired about Dwight Howard as opposed to what transpired on the floor. Yeah, he didn't have any assists, but Boston was all over them. They were talking on defense. KD was in dominant form. Paul Pierce was trying to remind everybody that he's still the truth. You saw all of this stuff transpiring. So as a result, I just thought that the Lakers were overmatched, not just physically, not just with the roster, but they were overmatched mentally, emotionally. They just didn't have that fire in their belly. Doc Rivers watched Dwight Howard be interviewed by me earlier this week, Skip. He knows Dwight Howard well enough. And more importantly, he knows what buttons to push for his own team, and he knows Kobe very well as well. All of those things were what the Lakers were going up against. And all they had as a response was Kobe. For one of the rare times in Kobe's career, he was completely outmatched because whatever emotion he had, whatever whatever vitality, whatever you want to call it, the fervor, everything, Boston had it with a multitude of individuals. Kobe couldn't do that. He couldn't fend that off by himself. They had everything in their favor: emotions, togetherness, coaching, spirit, fervor, everything. It was just too much for him to deal with. But again, in part, he may have played a role because when he said what he said, all right, Dwight Howard, it's not about what he said, and it's not about what he meant in terms of if I'm pretty black and white, I won't speak surreptitiously and all of this other stuff. It's not about that. It's about how Dwight Howard will embrace it. And Dwight Howard clearly embraced it in a bad way, and that played a role in how the Lakers looked last night.
I hear everything you're saying, but I must say, Stephen A., Kobe deserves most of the blame for what happened to the Lakers last night. I was surprised and disappointed in his approach to the game because he suddenly reverted from Kobe facilitator to Kobe wanting to lead the league in scoring. And that facilitator, Kobe, put this team in position to win each of its previous 7 games. It had won 6 of 7. You remember they blew the 13-point lead in Phoenix. They should have closed that deal. But the reason they were playing at that level is because Kobe was engaging his entire team. They weren't standing around anymore watching Kobe go solo. They were all involved in the offense. They felt like they were part of Kobe's team. And last night, I don't know if Kobe felt like he had to offset the lack of energy that Dwight immediately did not display in the game. I don't know if he looked up at the scoring leaders and he saw that Durant has pulled away a little bit here now that his points have fallen off. Durant's 1.8 per game more ahead of Kobe. I don't know if that was it. He went post up, which was unusual. He went between the legs solo quite a bit, which was reverting back to classic Kobe. And Stephen A., I'm going to say it again, two points. The only chance this team has of making the playoffs is for Kobe to facilitate the way he did for those previous 7. You predicted, and I give you this, it's not going to last much longer because Kobe's going to be Kobe, and you were right. He was Kobe last night. He had taken 15 shots through 3 quarters, and they trailed by 26. Do the math. Case closed.
Well, I would say to you, you got to take into consideration who we're talking about here when you talk about who he's playing against. The Boston Celtics are no joke, Skip. They're a very together team, and what they lack in terms of athleticism or youth, they more than make up for in IQ, in knowledge, in inspired basketball. Plus, they're exceptionally well coached by somebody you and I both recognize as the very best coach in the game of basketball. You're going up against these guys. They know what rotations to make. They know who to frustrate. They know who to get all up in. They know what they're going to have to fend off. If you're going up against somebody else, I feel you, Skip. I understand exactly where you're coming from. The problem is you're going up against Boston, a team you face only twice a year, a team that's incredibly familiar with you and what you bring to the table. With KG, with Paul Pierce, they know what they're doing. And I can't diminish that. Earl Clark and Steve Blake and Nash and all of these guys, they're no match for Boston. It wasn't going to happen. They'll do better in L.A. because they'll have their home crowd. They'll play a little inspired. But Boston is too savvy, man. And when you know that you've got Pau Gasol out and Dwight Howard's right arm is no good because of his shoulder, I mean, you key on Kobe and you let the chips fall where they may. And you frustrate everybody else. Or let Kobe, as you would say, let Kobe do his thing. Kobe's going to get his. Kobe's going to get, I can tell you right now what Doc Rivers said. Kobe is going to get his. He's Kobe. But these other parts that have been making noise, lock that down. And ultimately, Kobe will start shooting more, but he can't hit them all. And we'll get him. And that's what happened.
Okay, but remember, as much as I applauded Kobe for his off-the-court leadership, whether he called out Dwight or sent a little subtle or surreptitious message, if we can use that word, that was still leadership. And I thought it worked. And if you're going to lead the team off the court, you got to keep leading the team on the court. Paul Pierce for the Celtics has started playing the facilitator role that we've seen Kobe play the previous 7 games. Stephen A., it's working. They are sharing the basketball. They look like a team. Last night, the Lakers no longer look like a basketball team.
Yeah, but again, you have Dwight Howard. What happens? He has 9 points. He shoots 1 of 6 from the free throw line. So obviously the Boston Celtics are saying, we're going to foul him. Let's disrupt their rhythm that way. Plus, he may miss free throws because he's only entered the game shooting 49.6% from the free throw line. Outside of that, these other dudes are young. They're limited. They got a lot to learn. They have not been in this kind of heat. I'm not absolving Kobe. Kobe didn't play a great game. Kobe knows he could play better. You're not about to hear me say he shouldn't have. What I'm saying, however, is that when you are surrounded around guys who can't get it done for one reason or another, while Boston is revisiting Game 6 of the 2008 NBA Finals, basically running you out of their building, you are not going to sit idly by if you have the requisite skills that Kobe has and say, oh, okay, I guess it just ain't our night. Let me continue to pass the ball. That's not how stars and that's not how champions roll, Skip. They go down. They go down swinging. And that's what you saw.
Well, now 4 games under 500. I love Skip and the shaking of the head.